Angelo Badalamenti. Angelo Badalamenti.
He said, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, he's tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the darkness.
Mr. Lynch lives forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply, Mr. Simply. Oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply, oh, simply that. Lynch, it's February 28th, so every last day of this February 2026. 2026, it's a Saturday in Naples today. At the moment, it seems mostly cloudy sky and white, very cloudy sky to see in general, and it also seems there's no any falls with a one, perhaps when a one could be considered, perhaps when you can call it Chinese one, perhaps a country, but see, perhaps it is a wind, and si metami, it seems there's no. And it's between late afternoon, the hour 14 and 11 minutes. 16 and 16 Celsius, really colder, like in severe rain. This last 3 days, from 3-4 days, but it's a light spring atmosphere. Of course, we're going to practically tomorrow will be March. We're going to spring in a few weeks, as you know. So this from this point of view it's normal sitting, but in general it's always secure, and the adjective equals in fact it's a classic adjective that is since for the winter since supports for secure, yes was in effect chant and for years for June 17 factory over come for se guarda weather reports la last passame sa opzione non for lui non gas passame fin con body factory over come for years period now also for the winter commandment of the December 20 in particular CNT for 3 p.m. in Italy as Rapson no the body somebody which I suppose I'm sure that Tracy doveva singere sorrisimi, let's society sometimes in purpose. Fakat bir şuntu uçar. İngiliz spettrum perhaps paradoxio to me. I did do to integration sword. Spinga sama minuto si fa che spinga su Silencio soft for sama che c'è for the auto once again the soft sono già for season su birsa. Classicaci di la segreta di Glisa, trasformiamo questa figura da un solo incomplete, no, because what's the video, it's winter, it's cold, so we complete should compliment. When I see the sentence, absolutely incomplete, and many film was very to me, particular perhaps really for this video for Vex, for difficult pezza fin con lessa, andare più da questo stesso practice following tu in particolare practice particolare following senza mirso, dove c'è un strano for gold, and welcome the winter peel, our winter weather parts videos, I always start what the comment in the comment section, which check spuntati su practice, in case frutti questa parte questo comment dei nostri risk, se non si interessa di notare su practice, che sarebbe di sia, quindi questa parte questo comment dei nostri risk, e non fossero più netti, fin con notte, così faccate fil cold, perché con yes, non si penso da me, finché 95% di fil cold, or even in general in some way for me was good. Non stia about scatto sotto I don't know. Cioè che si think just for it's good at completely. Perché mi fa ma funziona così. Ingrid affirma finché tre approssimazioni di servizi ci si può fare. Si già si fuori, si sente fare in 16 Celsius. L'importante in questa atmosfera è senti ci vedi. Questi fuori di disa. Essere sicurti sono sicurti su rimbalzare I'm repeating sometimes issues are most perfect. It's supposed to focus on the repeat sky essere just for mostly also totally white grey cloudy yes and considering last days better city weeks perhaps and according considering what the consumer station certain things it's possible almost sure that later in the afternoon so it's really left on better people say just for a theory to nearly the afternoon it became darker, bleaker, and also that my train flat of humans for nothing for a late think or close. Stessi così, non te la penso. Ma ta su questo no, bisogna pagianza Wizards, so su questi infinite clients come scritto today very clear. Bad maximum tosta little good. Or bad well, but I think it's better say bad maximum tosta little good. Or if not bad, only bad. So si insomma, non mi dico, quindi un altro cortino in flasso, anche flasso in prezzi, un cortino in sesta number one, particolare sembra vostro borfito di prezzo, particolare Herbert, non li forse noi se ti vorrei scortino uso beautiful grey cortino di beautiful painted dove in c'è stato rip on the passage fact, proprio adesso un cortino di link se mette si ride opzione che sono come section ci should be pointed fast proprio fortemente ora non è si ride come section, I don't know if you can see notice the real for me this shot near me finco yes from late finco yes. See green flowers along the trust mixed plants. Or if not, jen better, ġuli better se lasciate la idea se parto del video su which Perugia show the video at scatta sven from the scassi comité window scassi comité room questo sarà non lo so da medico video da medico quindi da medico room. Or from a broad perspective, also from this area the shot tra queste shot simili a classica shot film fatto che io non avremo avanti detto che infantry mixati surely in modern terza cover proprio scurtine Peter beautiful grey curtain di beautiful paint branches rapport sopra festival tutte in storia reports calare curtine infantry mixati lì surely le curtine in cover image journey one day sono le temi sul cegito e I was saying this is shot so relate fact what when there is a great shooter also when there is but more when there is cos'è che si measure adesso si rende little speech center lo so che sopra scurtine Peter beautiful grey curtain with beautiful paint branches possono dire che per la storia storia poi che ortini e fosse che andremo in satellite e now si dice che il reddito su di curtini sorry per ripetere che special su di che first times e so vedere in this little speech or sentence si dice but also and always better visible for me its entity in this shot anticipanti mitico legendary shot. La sigla di Glory Shooter, notivismo, effettuato mestiere, notivismo, questo last ottobre, mese importante, mi sono partito tutto il solito, notivismo, e la storia del spiccio, sento, se forte, continuo, sofferito, sofferito. So repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, its sensitivity, in this shot, si fancy mythical legend shot. And finally, from a mythical keyboard, Magic 1640, PG 625, also the case of mythical legend shot. UX it was a big size January 24th, it was Saturday. The film this is a new shot, film in fact today, this shot which you can see the actual condition, actual conditions since December 2nd, 2024, and since that day practically there was no light in the display, so this is the main problem. There are also other little problems, but another problem in particular, the main problem is that this fact was no light in the display, but one day one day as soon as I tried to fix it. Yeah, getting only people of Channel Sports, and still getting good weather. So remember my system. So myself, lots of biscuits, and finally, I hope you all having at breakfast. Let's see, late in general, so nice, can see late in the first, and if somebody means the last December 31, in fact, the question for the first time, it's late in general for the people, and all in general for the people, and all for my record, but not at all for my house, it's a kind of type of normality. Make breakfast is also me. It's better between December and January. The winter period also, and since this month, February and to all the other months, surely less than December and January. In fact, the record is of December 9 to 16, but the ball is late. But at the same time, it's late. But the ball important si fa riva der reaction sembra stizzo sta in fact in America fast su quella che resta fit but in che milka tfantare in parte mette si fosse sync tre record si record sembra 3 so saggio repeat close the cartelli close the record lì il tuo somma si prende assieme a more no yes si just for that just only obviously just only in quote 14 in 11 mutes. At l'importing show cinema set is also be fortunate so I'm young. And as you must see, breakfast on the most buildings left world. Absolutely. As you know since as a most when you better anticipo I think more than yes more than yeah as I was lost good thing like sector of the resource about the Friday the news so the previous is a new resource this yes I think I'm using it since Friday of the weeks of 11 Friday ago, if not 11, but 10, between 10 and 11 Fridays ago. Yes, and but I promise you, yes, this should be done. Video, but I promise you to one day, one time, so now you have to check better visit Friday, just to see all these things. In this speech, I show it to you. Yes, e poi sarà un shot sopra inizio gioco a giocare a morto ma io ma siamo nessuno fra sarà bisco sarà mai fatto la membri sul combo sul bisco bisco and see us think to one mezzo carta sarà chocolate chip cookies or the cookies chip chocolate chips and if not mistake was fatto bisco mi Lynch but in particular there are two things that you say the least first one is about milk factory shot non togli che si coffee but so qui chocolate fa così for shot fa gamti shot and if si finché it monza si che so conosci che is like pieno sono tanti aspetta so more is quick sti finisce now this once the birth once si finché essa 252, 50, 54 days, so practically months. The sum is this is the sum the months I see mentioned just before 7, 8. Aussi che sono in touch aussi che sono in bira sono in touch better and so since that month 3 but in certain once again milk so very news e un easy also factoring the back fa su sabon sapio last period in particolare mega boys sì last period c'è questo allora come more than 1 year of course anything to first time so that period if some also se toll e cosa breakfast or se mega baba ma se continua su base nei ferrari si sta connector and serials from sa sempre position proprio su che segue first position di bam ma in generale segue ora si segue position mi cosa attraverso questa posizione formidare tale impammo dal ciò che ci serials fuck always I do come nemmeno tu because they are really super bad. Tomorrow is supposed to be fantastic. I can't tomorrow to lepe. My walsi.